Also, in the email, you might want to indicate if you can speak Italian or not, because if you can, that's going to be a plus, but if you can't, they're going to respond in Italian and it's not really going to do you any good. So you just need to make sure that you hint to them that you can or cannot speak Italian. And also, then with personal titles, it's very important, especially over the internet and emails. You just need to make sure that you show exactly who you are, your title, what you do, that kind of stuff. It is also important face-to-face that you address people by their titles, because it is viewed as kind of rude if you don't acknowledge that these people do have these titles. So today I covered the architecture and how much there is and how important it is to Italy. I talked about traffic and transportation and how aggressive everyone is on the roads, and then I also talked to you about communication and how you can stay in the know in Italy. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague.
So my name is Guadalupe, and I'm an accountant, and today I'm going to talk about Italy's economy, in specific the average household income, GDP, and inflation. So the average household income based on the OECD Better Life Index for the net adjusted disposable income per capita is approximately $25,000 a year. And the OECD, which stands for the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which has around 35 member countries from all over the world, the average is $29,000 a year. So in Italy, the top 20% earns approximately 6 times more than the lower part. And the northern part of Italy is extremely wealthier, and in the picture you can see the difference between where the north and the south divides. So the South has had disastrous financial performance since the 2008 financial crash, and it is not expected to get back to the pre-2007 levels until the mid-2020s. Moving on, the GDP. The gross domestic product was worth approximately $1,814 billion in 2015, according to the Trading Economics. And the service sector accounts for about 3/4 of the total GDP. So also according to Trading Economics, Italy reached a record low GDP of -7.2% back in 2009, and they have slowly grown back to where they are not in the negatives anymore. And also, Italy's GDP represents about 2.93% of the world economy, and as of December 1st, it grew 0.3%, and it is still growing as of today. And the graph here on the PowerPoint shows how the GDP has changed throughout the years. So inflation. According to Focus Economics, inflation grew by 0.1% in November of 2016. Yet consumer prices dropped by 0.1%. So some of the things in which prices fell was housing and utilities and clothing and footwear. And prices increased in food and non-alcoholic beverages and recreation and culture. And the economy is expected to grow by 1% in 2018. So today, you can also see the graph here, which shows the inflation throughout the months of 2016, and it ends in 2016 with being in the positive and it increasing. So today I talked about the average household income and how the northern part of Italy is wealthier than the southern part, the GDP slow increase throughout the year, and inflation's causing a fluctuation in prices. So overall, today we talked about Italy and the market and how the major industries include machinery, iron, steel, tourism, and elastic goods, the culture and the never-ending types of pasta, the infrastructure, and the beautiful architecture you can come across every corner of Italy, and the economy, which says how Italy's GDP comes to about 2.92% of the world economy. So as a group, we do recommend you to do business in Italy because it'll be a great investment for you as business partners. Thank you, and are there